Hello and welcome to my today's video, in which I'm going to speak about one of my favorite people in K-pop, which is Beomgyu of TXT. And this is going to be my second video about his solo works. In the previous one, I was speaking about the change that Beomgyu brings, like the transformation that he has been through probably and brings us through. And I will put the link to it somewhere here so that you could watch it if you want to. But in today's video, I wanted to talk rather about the symbolism in his music videos and how certain things, certain symbols show the particular concept, the particular spiritual concept that he raises in his work. So his first work was Panic. And in Panic, Beomgyu brings, as it seems to me, the topic of the changes in life and the trust to change. There is this sense of, being trapped, being in depression, being lost, not having like strength and energy to do anything. And then there is this moment of like acceptance of the storm, the moment when Beomgyu looks into the storm and like accepts the fact that something is happening in his life. And in the end, you can see him like as a person who has accepted the storm, who has been through the storm. At some point also there is this moment when he looks at himself in the mirror and sees his wounds and like actually accepts them as well. So my feeling is that this is like this whole plot, this whole narrative is this process of accepting the fact that the difficulties in life are inevitable and being wounded while you live your life is inevitable as well, because very often the life brings us the situations which are very challenging for us to overcome and become more of ourselves. And acceptance of the difficult situation, acceptance of the storm, acceptance of the pain and the bruises and the wounds is an an irreplaceable part of this whole process of becoming more of ourselves, of becoming stronger and becoming more capable of overcoming the difficulties of life. But also, like the main symbol of this music video, as it seems to me, is the dandelion. It's also on the cover of the song in YouTube Music, for example, or in Spotify, because it represents the lightness. It represents the going with the flow, because the life is not stable. If we are being honest, we will realize that we are always leaning towards this stability, trying to find this stability, trying to get this stability in our lives, but we are not able to achieve it because stability does not exist in this world. This world is ever-changing. It's moving all the time. And these ups and downs in our life, in our mood, in our cycles, in the nature, in the weather, they are natural. The world is just like this. There is a part of the song where Beomgyu says, "And this dark night shall pass too," or "this storm shall pass too." I don't remember exactly, I'm sorry. I will put it somewhere. Because whenever we are in a good situation, we know that there will be a bad situation. But whenever we are in a bad situation, we know that there will be a good situation. And that's actually how the life goes. And the dandelion is the symbol of not weighting ourselves with the expectations of that life is going to be a certain way, but rather going with the flow of it. And if the life goes down, we go down to see what is there, to see what we can pick up from the bottom of our life. And if the life brings us up, we can see what is there. But in fact, it's all the same. In fact, it's just life. And the beauty of life is not in being up or down. The beauty of life is in being fluid and flexible, going between these phases of life without expectations, but also without hesitation. this is what brings peace. The acceptance of the fact that the life is changing all the time. And this is the first work of Beomgyu. Already pretty strong, right? But the second one, for me personally, was even more significant because it seems to be that it is about the trust in the emptiness, which this topic is very important for me and has been very important for me for the last maybe half a year, where I was trying to understand why I feel so much tension, why I feel so much tension in my body, why I feel so much tension in my psychic, why I feel so much tension in my relationships, why I feel all this tension. And when Beomgyu's song Take My Half was released, I realized that I was holding this tension because I was trying to hold on to something. I was trying to fill the emptiness inside of me with something, while in fact what I needed to do was to release, was to let go, was to trust in the emptiness, like the balloon, which is the main symbol of the music video Take My Half, that cannot fly if it's not empty, that cannot race if it is tied to something. Again, to expectations, to desires, to something in the future, to some person in the present, to some concept, to a job, I don't know, to anything that might be weighting us down and not allowing us to be free. And this whole video, this whole music video, shows to me the importance of this sacred release. It sounds like, in the one hand, it sounds like it's a romantic song about, take my half. It's as if it is sacrifice, but in fact it's not. I don't feel like it's a sacrifice. I feel like this act of giving your half is not for another person to take this half and give their half in return. This act of giving your half is actually an act of release, which is done not for the sake of receiving something in return, but just for the sake of releasing. For the sake of feeling empty and allow the emptiness to be filled with love. For the sake of being in peace. Because you don't clench to anything anymore. For the sake of being liberated and released. For the sake of finding the relation to this sacred emptiness inside. And to see that maybe it is filled with something that you haven't been able to perceive till now. Until you released. I'm making this video. This is the second video that I'm making about the solos of Beomgyu, and he only has 2 right now. Because both of these themes are some of the most significant and some of the most fundamental spiritual practices, spiritual laws that exist, I feel like. I've been on this journey of spiritual practice and yoga and healing for years already, and I feel like these 2 things are some of the most relieving. Is that a word? Probably not. Once, whatever. These are 2 of the topics that bring the most peace, even in the most difficult situations. One that says, this too shall pass. And another one that says, just let go. Just really, really let go. Allow yourself to be empty. Allow yourself to be free. And what is even more important, that for Beomgyu, as it seems to me, it's not just a concept. It's not something that he read about in the books. It's not something that he heard about in some video on YouTube. Maybe he did read about it in the books. Maybe he heard about it in the video on the YouTube, but also it is his experience. Because otherwise, if it wasn't his experience, otherwise he wouldn't be able to write these lyrics, and otherwise he wouldn't be able to perform it the way he performs it. As if this change, the change from, expecting the life to be a certain way to shift to allowing it to be the way it is and going with the flow and, just surfing the wave. And another change from trying to get something, from trying to hold something, from trying to clench into something, into the release, the ease, the relief, the emptiness, the sacred emptiness inside. It is the change, both of these changes, both of these shifts are the ones that have happened inside of him. I can see it, I can feel it. And that's even more significant and important and beautiful. Because it's not just a concept, it's not just something that somebody wrote to him. It is something that he has been through. It is something that he is now sharing. And that's why I appreciate Beomgyu so much. He's very young also. Like, how old is he? He's 24, right? And he is already, unfolding, opening some of the most fundamental principles of spirituality, of healing, which is actually amazing. I'm like, you can't even, like, I don't know anyone can understand how much I admire Beomgyu because of the way he is and because of the effort he puts into clarity, into clarifying the situation for himself, but also sharing this clarity, this hardly achieved clarity with others. That's why he is so special to me. And that's why he is so special in general. So yeah, this is the video. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know what this love was. Probably the release of some tension that I hold in my body whenever I make a video. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.